In my most recent video, I covered for you guys and I answered the question of who is actually selling right now within the Toronto real estate market. We know it's a very low inventory. We know it's a down market. Prices have dropped. Days on market has gone up, but there are people still listing. So I answered who is actually selling, which leads me to the next question that many of you and my clients have asked me. Who is in the best position right now to take advantage of the Toronto real estate market as it stands today? Because ultimately in any given market, whether it's a really hot market, it's a really cool market, it's a moderate market, it's a low interest, high price market, it's a high interest, low price market, or anything in between, there are people who can stand to benefit and there are people who do not benefit. So I'm going to tell you who stands to benefit the most within the Toronto real estate market and GTA real estate market and give you all the details and much more. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam, a Toronto real estate agent actively working within the city of Toronto and the GTA. On this channel, I like to discuss everything having to do with the GTA real estate market, whether it's market stats, market trends, buyer advice, seller advice, pre-construction previews, Toronto condo reviews, area analysis, property tours, and so much more. So if you find any of this content enjoyable or informative, definitely subscribe to follow for more, or get in touch with me or follow me on my other social media platforms. You can find that contact information in the description box and probably on the screen. A quick matter of housekeeping. I put up a poll about a month and a half ago in terms of which Toronto condo building I'm to review next. And it seems you guys have voted and you guys have decided that I should review 88 and 100 Harbor Square. So expect that video to come out within the next couple of weeks. Look, there's no question about it. We are in a down Toronto real estate market and GTA real estate market. The prices do not lie. To set the table and give you the context for what we're talking about when I say who is in the best position to take advantage of this market, I'm going to define this market. So let's take a look at this very basic number, for instance, right? What you see on the screen are home prices since November of 2021, up until the most recent month we have in full, which is July of 2023. And it might be a little too much data. So let's focus on what the key comparison is. Let's take a look at peak prices during the GTA real estate market compared to the most recent month we have in full, which is once again July 2023. We see that across all property types, across all areas, the average sold price of a home has fallen to the tune of 16% since the peak of market here, the peak of the Toronto and GTA real estate market. By 90% of the metrics was February of 2022. As to why it's only 90% of the metrics, you will find out more about that later in the video. But however, since February of 2022, if we compare the average sold price there across all property types, which was $1,330,000, we see that as of July 2023, it's a 16% decline in that average sold price, because in July of 2023, the average sold price across all home types, across all areas, was at $1,118,000. And keep in mind, this is not even the worst, right? Because the market right now, as of July 2023, for instance, is higher than it was in November, December, and January of 2022. That's really when the market dipped to its lowest thus far, right? The peak of the market was February of 2022 and March of 2022, but the depths, the lowest points of the market so far since the Bank of Canada has started to increase interest rates was November, December, and January. So this July figure is 16% less, but if we were to compare, for instance, the December figure, it would be more than 20% down, let alone 16% down. But that's besides the point. So obviously, sellers right now, most sellers, once again, are not in the best position within the Toronto real estate market and GTA real estate market. There are exceptions to that. I've covered those exceptions, so go watch my previous videos for those exceptions. But as a general statement, it holds very true. And having now set the table, who is in the best position to take advantage of the Toronto and GTA real estate market? Well, first off, it's obviously going to be buyers. There is no question about it that today's market is in a very buyer-friendly position. I'm not just speaking from the numbers here. I discuss house prices, but if we look at house prices across property types, across different regions, street by street, building by building, community by community, prices are down across everything. So buyers will be dealing with lower prices. they are also dealing with higher interest rates. So that is something to consider, of course. But the lower prices are coming as a result of the higher interest rates in the first place. But other key factors that we can take a look at in terms of determining how it's a buyer-friendly market: conditional sales are up, days on market are up, terminations are up. So properties are not selling on the first try, price changes, properties are often reducing prices, failed bidding wars, all these things are up. And once again, as my classic catchphrase on this channel is, I don't purely speak from the numbers and the facts. I'm a Toronto real estate agent. I actively work. Right now, I'm mostly working with buyers and we're getting some great discounted deals. But of course, once again, buyers would be having to buy into higher interest rates. But to surprise you, my answer to the question of who is in the best position right now to take advantage of the Toronto real estate market isn't buyers as a general and whole entire category. Because as I said earlier, most buyers obviously have to buy into higher interest rates. So I'm going to actually be even more detailed and nuanced than that. The people who I'm going to list as in the best position to take advantage of this down market, who can stand to benefit the most, who can maximize their gains and minimize their losses in today's market, are buyers, but they're a particular set of buyers. So let me start discussing them for you. By far, the people who are in the best position, without a shadow of a doubt, to take advantage, to benefit the most, to maximize their gains and minimize their losses in today's Toronto and GTA real estate market are cash buyers, to those individuals who only need minimal financing. And I've discussed this in the past many times, but let me reiterate here why that is. Because it's only these buyers, once again, purely cash buyers, 100% cash buyers, or those people who need maybe at most 30 to 35% financing. The reason they're in the best position to operate in today's market is because these are the individuals who get to take advantage of the consequences of higher interest rates, so a cooler, more buyer-friendly market, but at the same time not fall victim to the higher interest rates, the very reason it is a buyer-friendly market. Look, it's kind of a sick joke and unfortunate truth that most buyers cannot take advantage of today's market because most buyers are going to be buying with really high rates. Now, we know that these rates we're dealing with are not historically really high. Rates were much higher, much higher many decades ago. But in the most recent history of the Toronto and GTA real estate market, these rates are quite high. And decades ago, when rates were even higher, much higher actually, prices were much lower. So many buyers can't take advantage of the cool conditions that exist that many real estate agents such as myself are negotiating for. Once again, I'll reiterate: conditions, protections, inspections, financing, due diligence, being able to negotiate from a firm position on price and closing. Because a lot of buyers are hesitant to buy into the mortgage that they'll be paying on, whether it's a fixed or variable, and especially because we don't know what the Bank of Canada is going to do. We can project, but we don't know for a fact. They're probably going to keep increasing the rates if it's not going to be this most recent one coming in 2024 perhaps. But cash buyers do not fall victim to that. They get to take advantage of the cooler conditions. They get to operate from a place of strength. And this is not to say cash buyers or those depending on minimal financing have to buy now. This is just to simply say they're in the best position to take advantage. Which leads me to the second type of buyers, in my professional opinion, who are in the best position to take advantage within the greater Toronto area. And I'll preface, these buyers can also be cash buyers as well, but even if they're not cash buyers or do need more than minimal financing, so they're only buying with 20 to 30 to 40% down, they're still better off than others, which are those buyers who are looking to upsize. Namely, to upsize from condos to detached. And it seems very counterintuitive, right? Why would someone in a downward trending market look to upsize? Well, when you actually do the math, and this is on paper, right? In practice, it's a bit different. But when you do the math, it makes more sense to sell your property to upsize in a down market than it does to sell your property to upsize in a uptrending market. In a downward trending market, if you sell your house for 16% less, you'll be selling your house for 16% less, but you'll also be purchasing the house that is a upsize, so assuming it's a more higher purchase price, for 16% less. So the net you will be saving is more, as opposed to an upward trending market when you will be selling for 16% more, but you'll also be purchasing for 16% more. And what you'll be purchasing is 16% of a higher purchase price than what you're gaining in terms of 16% of what you sold at. Let's get to the specifics of the condo to detached leap and why I think, in my professional opinion, these buyers, assuming of course they have enough money and it's a wise financial decision for them, right? This is all assumed, why they stand to benefit the most. So to start it out, let's do a similar exercise as we did earlier in the video. How much have detached home prices fallen since the peak of the Toronto and GTA real estate market? Well, to answer that question, once again, we have to compare February of 2022 to July of 2023, the most recent month we have in full. And when we do that, we see that detached home prices have fallen 20%. You heard that right, 20% across the entirety of the GTA. Now, of course, some areas have held up much better, some areas have held up much worse. Places like Durham have been hit the hardest in terms of fall in detached prices. Central York region communities, such as certain neighborhoods in Richmond Hill, certain neighborhoods in Aurora, and certain areas, of course, of the city of Toronto have held up better. But there's no question about it. Across the GTA, on an average basis, the market is down for detached home prices from $1,790,000 in the peak of the market, now down to $1,427,000. So we've already established detached down 20%. Well, for the same comparison, when we look at condo prices, how far they have fallen since peak market, we see that they're only down 9%. That's right, because for condos, peak market was in February of 2022, is actually March of 2022. And when we compare the March of 2022 prices, where the average sold price was $808,000 across the GTA for a condo, to the most recent month we have in full, in July of 2023, where the average sold price was $735,000, we see a 9% decline. So in theory, if you are a condo owner right now who has saved up, who has the down payment, who has been pre-approved, you have run your numbers and it makes sense, you're not going to be house poor, you have everything in order, you'll be selling, in theory, on paper, 9% less than you would have during peak market, but you'll be buying your detached 20% less than you would have during peak market. Now, the reason I keep saying in theory is because I want to be very clear. These are averages across the GTA, right? So it really depends where you're selling your condo and where you're buying your detached. But you can easily be selling your condo in an area where prices have fallen for condos 11% as opposed to 9%, and buying your detached in an area where prices have fallen 17% or 18%, not 20%. But nonetheless though, this gap has definitely shortened across the GTA. Some areas more than others, some areas less than others. So it's very safe to say, and it's very fair to say, that the second type of buyer that is in the best position to take advantage of today's Toronto and GTA real estate market are those who are looking to step up from the condo to the detached. So combining both, I guess the people in the best position are those cash buyers who are looking to upgrade from condos to detached, but those are not that common. Anyways, that is it for today's video. There's a lot of exciting content to come out. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask them in the comments or get in touch with me. As always, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate. You can find my contact information in the description box. A lot of exciting videos coming out. Very excited. Thank you very much so for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.